In case I haven't mentioned it, I love this bike. It's one of the best ones I've ever had. Might keep it for a while, you never know. See what I'm like. It's a 2011 Multistrada 1200S, and it's a touring one, so it's got a few extra bits for the touring bit. I'm giving it major love at the moment, and in this episode I'm doing the Coolant. But what I've been doing is working my way through the 24,000 kilometre items, such as Desmo, belts and such like, so that it's had all of the major service items done. Whether it had them in the past or not, who knows. The service history's quite good. It's had lots of oil changes. Not sure about the Desmo, but go back and look in the playlist and you'll see what I'm saying. So, onto the Coolant. First of all, I've got 3 litres of Motel's Finest, which is the right spec for this engine. Mostly aluminium inside. Yeah, you've got to be aware of corrosion and such like, so make sure you get the right spec of coolant, and you need 3 litres. You'll be having a bit spare, but I'll tell you what you'll do with that in a little while. 2 things of interest that you need to be aware before you even start. One is the header tank is above the radiator, and the way it connects to the radiator is above the radiator filler. If you take the radiator filler cap off, the header tank will drain itself through and it'll empty your radiator over the top. Your radiator will still be full, but you'll have a mess. That's one thing to be aware of. The second one to be aware of is that the drain plug is actually slightly above one of the bottom hoses. So you need to make sure you're trying to get that bottom hose empty or at least flush through. So it says in the workshop manual to put it on its side stand, but even on its side stand, it isn't quite at the bottom. Anyway, those are the 2 main things to think about. Let's get on. And first of all, we've got to take off this cheek thing on this side so that we can get at the radiator and the header tank. Change the coolant with the engine cold, so you make sure you're doing it when you've not been running the bike whatsoever. And in taking this cheek off, there are 2 Allen head screws on this side, so you can undo them and just take this half. Obviously there are a lot of screws that hold it on, but this red bit is actually connected to that in such a way that it all comes off together. So first of all, let's get these ones. There's 2 of them in here, and I think they're 3mm, but let's have a quick look. And the other one's at the front. There we go. These ones are all 3s, and this comes off as a separate panel, and this one's a 4. Now there is a clip on the back of this that you might have to catch with some grips just to stop it spinning. I did tighten that last time. Watch you don't scratch your fairing. There it is. If it's not seagulls, it's the rozzers. And there's one under here. Once you've got all the screws out, and remember this one is holding 3 pieces together, you gently ease it forward because there's a rubber connector from the front onto your air filter feed. There we go. Pulls to the side, and there's also this air temperature sensor that you need to disconnect. I'll go round there and disconnect it. There we go. It's worth just having a look at how this bit fits together, because there's a little bit of a notch to push into there. That bit I think goes up against there, maybe on the outside of it. So when you can put it back together, that's the things to look for. But now we can see the radiator and the filler cap. Next thing to undo is the actual filler for the header tank, which is handily tucked away behind all these cables. There we go. He says. Yeah. This is the hose from the header tank that will drain it when you take that off. So what it recommends in the manual is you undo the clip on this, take the pipe off, and then drain it. But another method is to clamp this and worry about draining it once the rest of the system's drained. It'll then pour down into there. So I'm just going to clamp it with simple but effective. So I should be able to remove this now and not have a problem. Okay, it didn't come running out like I expected it not to. Interesting, this is a yellowy, very clear fluid, and I'm actually replacing it with pink, which is perhaps the more common one I've seen. So we'll make sure I flush it through. And this is the coolant pump, and this is the hose that I said is just slightly below it. So you have to give it a squeeze and flush it through. But this is the recommended thing by the workshop manual, and this is not a 4 but a 5. So let's undo the drain. That's quite tight. Yeah, you have to laugh. And I recommend you hold this closer because it always seems to come out like a fountain. Oh, not so bad. Oh, it's more green than yellow. So I'll leave that to drain for a little while. Now we'll release this. So there's the fluid from the header tank. And you can hear how that's gone a little bit quicker. Give the header tank enough time to drain out. And it's worth giving this bottom hose a bit of a squeeze. Can you see? There's still fluid coming out, but what I'm going to do when this stops running, I will put some of the new coolant through to push it through. Now it's finished, I'm going to flush it through with some coolant. Now you could use just the ionised water as well. You can see this is relatively clean anyway. If it was rusty and such like, then I'd probably get in the hose pipe to it for a while. But I think just a little bit of a flush through just to get that bottom bit of coolant out will be fine. Only intend to put about half a litre through, which would be the spare you had. And as you can see, getting just pink through now. Having allowed it to drain, let's put the filler back in with a new little copper washer, or anneal the old one, whichever you prefer. And this torques up to 15 Newton meters. Which doesn't seem a lot, does it? The next thing to do is to slowly fill it up. and you expect about 2 litres to go in at this stage. Judging from what came out, there was about 2 litres, and I've so far put 1.5 litres in, and the 2 litres did include what was in the header tank. So what I'm going to do is pop the cap back on, put it on the centre stand, start it up for a couple of minutes, then have another quick look in here and see if I can top it up here first. The air temperature thing is because it's unplugged. It'll go away once it's plugged back in. Having run it and topped it up, what I'm going to do now is put some in the header tank. So, yeah, it does fit. And I'll put it sort of halfway between max and min. So, the next thing to do is start the bike again. And it says to let it get up to 110 degrees so that the fans are kicking in and out. What they didn't say was if you're in the UK and it's not midsummer, you'd be lucky to get it to 110. So what I'm going to do is I'll warm it up to, it gets to about 87, 88. Let it cool down. I'll do that twice. I'll check the levels as much as I can, top it up, and that's the job done. I won't show you me putting the things back on. I think they'll go on quite easily. And that's the job done. It's quite easy actually. Didn't take any time whatsoever. I'll put all of the tools and things I've used in the description, as you know. Why not subscribe and see what else I do with this? And we also get up to stuff with cars, so it might be worth your while. Anyway, the seagulls will sing us out. Thanks very much for watching. Maybe the seagulls weren't impressed. I've just been wiping a lot of white stuff off my bike. God, that's really annoying.
Notte giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo.